Welcome back to the All Things Dead podcast with your host, Coach Steve Kaczewski, the All Things Dead podcast, where you find everything in the Walking Dead universe. The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Walking Dead World Beyond, hopefully the freaking Rick Grimes movies, hopefully a Negan spinoff, the Darren Carroll spinoff, theories, going back and recapping all the shows, which I've promised from the beginning, but now I'll start to get time to do it. But it will happen here on the All Things Dead podcast for everything in the Walking Dead universe. Before I get going, please go leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts for the All Things Dead podcast. It takes nothing to click on the stars. If you don't want to leave a 5-star, please don't leave a 5-star, but please go do so. It helps algorithms and helps the podcast and everything. It helps all that. It takes nothing. If you want to leave a nice review, leave a review. If you don't, that's fine. Spotify, same thing. Go do that. Google Podcasts, anywhere the podcast can be listened to, please go like, subscribe. The podcast can be found on the Coach Steve Show YouTube, because that's my other podcast, the Coach Steve Show, where it's all about sports, entertainment, Marvel, everything else is on the Coach Steve Show podcast, which I also host. This is just a second one. It can be found on the Coach Steve Show YouTube, so go like and subscribe to that. It takes literally maybe 30 seconds. Please and thank you. Again, this is everything in the Walking Dead universe. Spoilers, if you have not seen Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, anything like that. We are getting close to being done with Fear the Walking Dead. They took they're getting to the end. We got to see, we're still on season 6. We got to episode 14 titled Mother. This was a fantastic episode. It does have the Walking Dead vibes to them, the OG Walking Dead vibes. Great episode. Really had twists and turns. Horror, okay, yeah, but it had twists and turns. I guess had a little bit of horror. It had a little suspensefulness to it. So it was a great episode. It was a great way to see our new villain, Teddy, and what's really going on. It's a great way to get back to Alicia, because she is a main character. We finally get to see what's going through her mind and what's really going on here. It was a fantastic episode. Like I said, it's getting back to they're stealing from The Walking Dead, but it's the Walking Dead universe. So they're going back, they're looking at the OG, and I think they're finally getting to, they're not stealing, they're just getting to that spot of it. They're getting back to what worked in the real Walking Dead, and Fear is getting that back. They're getting all of that back, which is fantastic. This episode was a little bit all over the place. Well, not all over the place. So this episode, and like I said, had a lot of twists and turns. So we finally get to see a little bit of Teddy about what he was. We learned before John Dory's dad put him away in prison, so his dad knows everything about this person. That the stuff he's saying now at the end is the beginning, talking about how basically this world needs, it's almost like if anybody watched Marvel, kind of like Thanos. Thanos always said the world needed correction and needed something to end to start something. He wanted to wipe out half a life due to resources. Teddy's talking about there's bad things in this world. There's things that don't make sense. There's things going on, and sometimes things have to end to get something else. And so John Dory's dad has claimed that this Teddy person has said this. John Dory's dad, I guess, set up or planted evidence or did something to get Teddy into prison. And so that's why he was in prison. But the stuff he's saying now in the apocalypse, he was saying before the apocalypse even happened. So in this episode, we kind of see this dynamic of like, why does he want Alicia? Like, what's going on? You know, Teddy starts off with putting Alicia in this classroom. He has that thing on repeat talk, kind of his voice, trying to get her to join, which we know she isn't. She's one of our tough characters. She is Madison's daughter. So she's never going to turn. She's never going to do that. Her game plan is to figure out what's going on. What was that key to? What is their plan? That is her plan. Her plan is to figure out what's going on instead of just killing people, because if she kills them, is she ever going to find out what's going on to go back and tell Morgan and the group? So Alicia burnt down their underground place, destroyed a lot of the resources. So Teddy's people are trying to find a new place to stay. When they do find one, Teddy says, I'm going to take Alicia on my own. We have to go do our own thing. So this is kind of where you're watching this and you're going, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to take out Teddy. But before Teddy leaves, he hands over the key to something. They still don't know what this key is to. So she knows if she kills Teddy on this voyage that they're about to take, that whatever he has planned is still going to be in effect. It's still going to happen. So she's trying to play this as smart as she can. Now, but then before, Dakota with Morgan in the group, she kind of tells them, this place is underground. She tries to tell them that. She tries to say, like, Alicia, help me. I want to help. And we kind of see that's kind of how it ends. We kind of see how they don't want Dakota's help. Morgan doesn't want the help either. But at the end of the day, he knows he can take all the help he can get. We see Dakota get off this bus. It's a recruitment bus. She gets off. So for me, watching this, I know Morgan has a plan. Morgan has sent her. They're trying to find her. There's a plan to find her. Now, Dakota wants to work with her, but Alicia knows that Dakota has her own motives, doesn't trust her, and said, it's not about us. Well, Teddy sees that they know each other, so why not? Why not bring them together? Why not say, okay, guys, we're going to go work together? So they go off on this little adventure. And during this time, we get a little feed into what Teddy's mind was. Teddy is telling Alicia, like, you just have to get what's going on here. It's going to click with you like it clicked with him. It's going to click like the rest of the people that are following him. So you're getting this cult vibe. It's not quite the Whisperer cult vibe. It's not quite Negan. You get the leadership styles of both Negan and Alpha kind of here from The Walking Dead, but Teddy's claiming that he knew this way back when he went to jail and said, I know you look up to your mother. I looked up to my mother. Here's a picture of my mother. We had the flashback scene at the beginning that showed the beginning of the apocalypse with Teddy where he's writing this stuff down. He has his mom's picture up in jail. They put a guy on death row. They do the injection. Well, he comes back as a walker. And so Teddy's mind was, I was right. The end is the beginning. Things are starting to end so something else can begin. He just wasn't in the right time. He had to wait. And so now he is clicked in his mind that he has been right this whole time since apparently, I don't know when, that he said things are ending for something to begin. He is right. So he is on this, not rampage, but he is very confident and nothing's going to deteriorate from what he wants. He thinks this world is evil and needs correction, kind of like not quite a Thanos, not quite correction, but things have happened. Bad things happen and they need to end. And in his mind, when the world ends, where something bad ends, we get something good out of it instead of this evil, instead of something else, instead of people getting, I don't know if he was necessarily about people getting hurt. I don't know if that matters to him quite as much because they are in the apocalypse and some of the rules get thrown out the window. They go find his mother, which he talked about. He wants to bring this body with them, which is very strange, but we all kind of know this guy's a bit of a loony. He's a little bit crazy. And during this trip, he's talking about Alicia's mother, Dakota's whispering like, okay, like what's going on here? They're trying to get him to tell what their plan is. He is not going to do that. He's waiting for Alicia to finally look and finally click with him. What he's seeing, what his people are seeing. But we all know Alicia, she is not going to be easily churned. She's not going to be easily manipulated. She is a very tough person. And she's on this path of, I want to protect the rest of us. She wants to do what her mother wanted. She knows in her mind that her mother, Madison, who I think is still out there somewhere, I don't think she's dead. I think she's alive, and I think she's going to come back. But I think in her mind, she died for something else. So she's working very hard to rebuild something that her mother started. Like, you don't want her to be gone for a reason. And I think that's why this episode was titled Mother. It gave this perception of Mother, well, Madison must come back. No, It gave this perception because Alicia is trying to really live by what her mother was telling her, really trying to do the right thing. But I also think it was called Mother because we had callbacks. The way they were driving, I think they're near or they were going towards the stadium. And Alicia even brings that up, like, are you really going to bring me to the stadium? Are you really going to try to make me churn? Are you really going to try to make me do this by taking me to the stadium? And he doesn't even know. He said he doesn't know what you're talking about. He just knows that there was a place they lived. And so we get this call back to Madison. I think that's another reason why it was called Mother. So it was kind of cool to get callbacks to the stadium. And everything else. So they go get this body, which he claims is his mother's body. They do run over something that makes their truck tire blow up. The body goes flying out. He's really panicking about this. So you can kind of tell right there, he kind of has this guilt of maybe he betrayed his mother. He was in prison. He wasn't there when she passed away or anything like that. And then we get more callbacks where we see this character emerge, and it's Cole back from when they were at the stadium. Cole, I believe, it had been so long because of COVID. These episodes weren't coming out as quick. It was a callback. I believe Cole was around Strand, Victor, who was training people. I think he caught Victor like hiding stuff, but he was a part of the stadium. And it's this callback. So Alicia said, like, oh my gosh, it's really you. So you're getting these callbacks. So you're kind of hoping Madison's going to show up. Cole looks like he's going to help, saying like, okay, we have tires to fix this. What are you guys doing? Where are you going? Teddy does not seem afraid at all. This guy has a shotgun to him, does not seem afraid. So this is where the Walking Dead twists come in, where not everything is as it seems for a lot of reasons. So Cole leads them to go get tires, leads them to this garage. All of a sudden, you see a bunch of people pop up with guns, and it's a huge callback. This group that was a part of the stadium all pop up. Some we don't remember their names, but we remember them being there. We remember them having small roles during that season 4 when they were in the stadium. Come to find out, these people escaped because of Madison, and they tried to do right after they got out of the stadium, but realized they had been screwed over before. There's people out there that only want to survive, or trying to survive, and they're not all good people. They're not all Madison. They're not all Morgan. They're not all Rick Grimes of the world, even though they've all done bad things. So Cole said they quickly realized, you know what? We're just going to take what we want. We're going to do what we want. And anybody that stands in our way is going to get killed. Sounds like not quite a Negan. Maybe a governor, if you want to relate it to things in The Walking Dead, maybe a governor where this is what we think. You want to join us, great. But at the same time, we're done with it. We're going to take what we want to survive. So Cole's quickly ready, just churned on Alicia, even though they've had their past, quickly churned to take their stuff. They were going to take the truck. But they know that Alicia had told them how Teddy has all this stuff, all this resources, and they're trying to get Teddy to talk, and he is just not going to talk. Now, during this, it was great acting, but during this, you notice nothing's phasing him. He's like, yeah, you could kill me, but my plan's still going to go. When I die, it's an end, and it's going to be a beginning to something else. He is so in depth with this that I think he's already made peace with death. If it happens, and he knows in the apocalypse it could happen, he doesn't want to, but I think he's made peace where if this happens, he's fine. And he keeps looking at Felicia like, even if I die, you're going to be the one that's going to make this go. So you're getting these Walking Dead twists and turns. We're like, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean she's going to do it? She doesn't like you. She's trying to figure out what's going on. This is where twists and turns come. So Cole knows that this body of his mom is very important. To get the body on, they start shooting it. They start hitting it. It doesn't bother him. And now we come to these twists and turns part of the episode where he says, that's not even his mom. He goes, that's not my mom. My mom's buried somewhere else. What? So, and then it quickly turns. You get walkers coming in. Cole was going to try to kill Alicia. So it just took these dark turns of Madison died for you, and this is how you're going to go about it. And Alicia, they kill everybody. The walkers kill people. Alicia confronts Cole and says, my mother died for us to go do better. My mother died so you could live. And no one's gone until they're gone. And we have to do something with this other life that we get from when she sacrificed. And it just didn't resonate with them. So she put him down. And this was like it for Teddy. He said, "This is it. You have earned my trust. I know you are the right person for this." And we still don't know what he means. We don't know his plan at this point. He just looks at Dakota and says, "You've done good today." He looks at Alicia like, "You've done good. Like, you put these people down. These people were evil and they needed to go. Ends are beginnings. These evil people had to go, so a new beginning. Your mom sacrificed herself as an end to start a beginning, and that's what you're trying to live by." So now we're slowly starting to see what he was thinking. Now we figure out his plan. Now, there was rumors where Morgan had come across these people where he got the key. They had this big submarine, and they had painted something on it. Well, people had speculated, like, is the key to a bomb? What's this key to? Does it open more supplies? Is it there for them to do other things? I have no idea. But Teddy's like, "You've earned my trust. I get to tell you." And these rumors came true. You have this bomb in the submarine that is washed up on land because I'm sure there's droughts. It's Texas. They have the key to set these bombs off to destroy everything around. And when they destroy everything around and they kill people, and they're going to be in this underground bunker instead, when that's wiped out, his group will emerge and is the beginning. They see the bad in this, and when things end, they can have a new beginning. And the rumors were true. Morgan had seen the submarine. It had been put online about these rumors. Well, Alicia says, "Okay, I got what I needed. I'm going to kill you." And this is where I don't know what's going on, but I said back when Dakota killed John Dory, she needed to go. This Morgan being nice stuff sometimes has to stop. Because then she points a gun at Alicia and says, "You are not killing him." So now here's where our twists come in. Is this... I see, at first you think it's a plot. Is she working with Morgan to say, "Okay, whenever we find Alicia, we got to get this going. We have to drag this out." But I think Dakota comes out and says, "I had a kind of a life when her mother was around. She wanted a life like with Morgan, but they weren't going to accept her. She wants to start over. And Alicia didn't get that when she killed John Dory. So I think it's time." So Dakota needs to look at the flowers. I need Carol to pop up and have Dakota look at the flowers, and she needs to go. Teddy's group comes in and takes her. They go to this house where there's an underground bunker, and they trap Alicia in there. And he tells Alicia, like, "You're going to stay here. When we destroy everything, you are going to rise up. No matter what happens to him, she's going to come out. She is going to lead the new beginning. She is the leader the world needs. She is that positive." Well, I know if positive, she's that strong leadership that he thinks the world should be. So Teddy's kind of playing God and saying, we need to destroy everything around. These bombs won't destroy the United States, but it's going to destroy the area and get a new beginning. So I don't know if Teddy doesn't know if there's a whole other world out there. We've got Rick out there. We've got Daryl and them out there. We got Negan. But he wants to destroy all around and start new, and she's going to be the one to lead it. She's going to have that positive leadership, well, not positive, that strong leadership style that he thinks. So he's playing God and saying, this is what's going to happen. So now we have Dakota betraying as it looks. I don't know if there's a twist. I don't know if this plan would go as far. Morgan, like this, at first you think there's a plan when she first does this. But I don't know if Morgan would do that. I don't know if he'd put Alicia in harm's way. So Alicia gets locked up in this room at the bottom. Just this kind of looks like an insane asylum room. And he says he tells the plan. That's where it left off. And next week or the next one, it looks like they're in the submarine. Because before Alicia was taken, she had the radio, and she said over the radio to Morgan what the plan was. So that's why I think Dakota's finally kind of just on her own. But there is a clip in the sneak peek where Dakota says, "Do these people know they're going to die?" Is she talking about his people? Because they're like about to sacrifice themselves. It looks like she's like, do these people know they're going to die? Why does everybody have to die? So is this a part of the plan? Does Dakota have her own plan and she's going to switch again? I don't know. But I do hope in the next episode or the season finale, because there's only 16. So we're going to get into, there's only 2 episodes left. So I hope in 15 or 16, Dakota just goes. I don't care. She needs to go. If anybody's like a Blacklist fan, I think Liz needs to go there. I think Dakota needs to go. She killed John Dory. She's now trapped Alicia, where we could have maybe killed Teddy or something and quickly got out of there to get to Morgan. Like, we could have done something, but Dakota has now ruined a lot of things over the past couple seasons, so she kind of needs to go. But now we finally kind of see what's going through Teddy's mind. We kind of finally get to see what made him tick. We kind of see where he's coming from, so we can understand this villain. And all the other villains, there's some that we have to understand before we get going. Some have lasted longer. The governor lasted a while. We had to figure out how he ticked. Negan, we kind of figured out how he ticked, but it took a long time. Even till now, when we had the Here's Negan to figure it out. Alpha, we figured out how she ticked. Like, all these villains, we had to figure out how they tick. They did it without rushing it and did it without dragging it on for us and Teddy to figure it out. So now we quickly realize he sees that there's an apocalypse. Again, I relate it to the Whisperers, where the Whisperers think this is how the world is and we have to adapt to it and move on. He has always looked at it as, it's this bad world. We got to end things to get things to begin. Like, we found out he killed his mother. She found out how he thought, and he didn't like it, wanted to do this and that, and he killed her. And he said once I think it was a year or months went by and nobody figured out he killed her. He knew this was the path to go on, so he has killed people before the apocalypse. And everything he thought about was coming true. Like, the world is ending right now, so now we have to make a new beginning. And in a way, he's right. The world and the apocalypse is ending. They've got to really dig deep and build up and build anew, but not this way. You don't need to kill the living to do this, but in his mind, this is the only way it gets done. This is the only way it works. So yeah, he's a bit crazy. But the next episode looks crazy. The sneak peek showed Morgan and Dwight and Sherry and Matt and Grace and them on top of the submarine to get to Teddy and them. So we're going to see if it works. They're in there. They have the keys ready. Everything's loading up. I don't know if they're going to do it. I think it would be a huge twist if they actually succeeded. If even one bomb went off and destroyed everything. And and maybe this sets up for season 7 them dealing with the aftermath. You'll have episode 16 to deal with it. Does this take a time jump? They keep claiming in the season we'll have a little bit of time jumps. We've had maybe a couple weeks. Is this bomb going to go off and then this season or episode 16, is it going to take a couple year time jump? Are they going to jump up to get to The Walking Dead? Are they going to jump up to maybe Rick Grimes movie stuff? I don't know. Maybe this is their way of doing it. I have no idea. But this episode was great. It had a lot of twists and turns. It had the horror suspense thing from The Walking Dead back in like seasons, very beginning, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It had a lot of that. A lot of what they've came back to. It was a good episode. It's setting up for the next episode. It looks like it's gonna be massive, and I assume 16 will be massive. But it is sad that we're getting to the end of this season 6 of Fear. Really, even though they're stealing from The Walking Dead, they're putting their own twists on it. It's great to see that it's good. It's great to have the Walking Dead vibe, and hopefully it continues into season 7. But I hope season 7 goes into a spinoff in the original Walking Dead. It goes into season 11, or it goes into the Rick Grimes movies. But it's just great to have this. We are getting to the end. We only got 2 more episodes left, which is crazy. Let me know if you guys ever want to let me know what you think. Leave them in comments. Again, please go leave a 5-star review or click the 5 stars on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. If you want to leave a review, great. The video part can be found on the Coach Steve Show YouTube channel. My other podcast is the Coach Steve Show, where it's sports, Marvel, entertainment, life, whatever, everything. Spotify, Google, everywhere the podcast can be found. The All Things Dead podcast can be found there. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you guys. Hopefully I'll get to reviews on The Walking Dead starting episode 1, season 1. But if I don't get to that, then I'll see you guys next time for Fear the Walking Dead, episode 15. Thank you guys so much for listening.